We're going to be doing facial massage manipulations today. One of the first things we want to do is learn how to protect our client's hair. And that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to protect her hairstyle, because we've got to cover it with something. We're going to take our towel, and I know you can buy turbans now, but if you're going to do a lot of facial treatments in the salon, you're going to have to do a lot of washing turbans and the expense of buying them, so you might as well learn to make your own turban. You do so by holding your towel so, turn one top corner loose, and that gives you kind of a triangle there. We want to come up behind her head, under her hair, and we're going to wrap one side over and then the other side over. And we always use bobby pins as fasteners instead of clips, because it leaves a flat surface there for us to work with. We do not open our bobby pins with our teeth, although that works good. It's very unsanitary. And for the sake of massage manipulations, you can do it without having a massage cream on, but in the facial area it really helps if you've got some massage cream, because it helps the hands to glide over the skin smoother. And the facial area is one place we will see if we make a mistake with any of our massage manipulations. Massage manipulations are used to tone muscles, relax the client, and the last thing you want to do is to cause bruising or either pull away from the origin of the muscle. Do y'all remember the origin, the insertion, and the belly of the muscles? You remember the motor points? So that's what we're going for here, is to go away from the insertion. In other words, our pull is going to be from the insertion, because that's the stretchy part. And with the face, it makes it real easy, because all of our movements in facials, whether we're applying cream, taking off cream, putting on makeup, doing massage manipulations, there is some rules, and those rules are all of our manipulations should be upward and outward. So that way we're not putting wrinkles in by going and pushing on the face. So all of them should be upward and outward, with the exception to the rule. And we found out when we got a rule, we've usually got an exception. We're going to pretend that her eyes are closed. But the exception to that rule is around her eyes, we're not going to come up and out like that. To take cleanser away, now we're not going to massage your eyes anyway, but to take cleanser away, we're going to start at the corners and go in and then around. So that's the exception to the rule. We're going in rather than outward. But the rest of our processes will take place doing upward and outward manipulations. The first massage manipulation we're going to do is going to be Effleurage. It's a stroking manipulation. It is a relaxing manipulation. And basically all massages should begin and end with stroking. Now, why do you think we would begin and end with it? It's relaxing. We kind of want to calm her down, make her get in the mood to rest and relax. And then we're going to go into some more vigorous massage manipulations. And then we're going to go back to stroking. Why? No answers? Because it's relaxing again. To kind of bring her down, we're going to relax her, then we're going to take her up, and then we're going to bring them back down with it. I'm going to use a little massage cream. You always remove it with a spatula. Put it on the back of your hand, and that should actually be laid aside and not put back in there again. If your hands and fingers are not smooth, you're not going to be able to do massage manipulations, because you want your hands to glide over the skin. So you first rub it on your hands, and then using upward and outward movements, you're going to apply the massage cream. This is the same way cleanser is applied. It's the same way they're removed. And then we begin our manipulations. With Effleurage, you can do digital Effleurage, meaning the fingers, or palmar Effleurage, meaning using the palms of the hand. And on the face, it's a little bit hard to get the palms, but you can use them in the neck area. And just stroke up. Leave your palms up. And anytime we go up on a manipulation, we don't want to remove our hands, because every time we move our hands, she loses her relaxation. So once we have stroked up, we're going to feather down. And that's simply keeping our fingers and hands in contact with her. We want to come down and do the neck, and if you notice, I'm using my palms during that time. And then I just raise my palms because of the uneven facial areas. I can't use it all over. And if you will notice, one of our motor points is in the temple area. So at a point in time, we may stop here. Massage, feather down, massage, feather down. Don't go to sleep on me. I see y'all yawning. But we stroke until we feel like she's relaxed, avoiding the eye areas. And our next massage manipulation is going to be Petrissage. Petrissage is kneading, and sometimes we do the fulling type of Petrissage, and I'll show you the difference in fulling and the actual kneading or Petrissage that we do on the face. But the kneading is the only ones we can do on the face, and again we're going to use upward and outward movements, and we're going to feather back down. But kneading is pinching, grasping. Needless to say, it's invigorating, and all we're going to use is our thumb inside of our finger. If we were doing fulling, we can do it with our hand, our palm, but on the face, kneading is not one of the big movements we use. All right, the next movement we're going to use is going to be called friction. Can also be called chucking, rolling, and ringing. And usually all we can use on the face is a digital friction. And the reason for that, this is a deep rubbing movement. And if you remember when you were in school, you used the ringing one without knowing that's what you were doing when you take people and give them the Indian burn. Did y'all do that? Yeah, I got a guilty one or two, I can tell back there. And that's just what they're talking about with the ringing, is taking it and ringing it, but you're not going to ring it tight enough to give them a burn, and that's friction. But what we have to do on the face, since it's such a fragile area, is we start out in the chin area with our middle fingers, and we do circular friction. And as we get up into the temple area, we're going to lay our other finger down because we can put more pressure in the temple area. And that will really relax your client. Then we feather down. We come back again with circular friction. We want to be really careful that we don't sit still in one spot with it, because it catches the little hairs. That's what makes the burning. If you do it on your arm, it'll catch those little hairs and knot them up, and it begins to get a burning sensation from it. So that is your friction. Does that feel good to your temples? The next massage manipulation we use is tap open or percussion. Do you remember the percussion instruments in the band when you were in school? They made a lot of racket, noise. That's just what tap open or percussion is. And in the face, it's one we have to be really careful about, because we can't use the we can use the tapping, but we can't use the slapping and the hacking. And if you've watched movies where they've had massage in it, you've seen the hacking. And we can use that on the shoulders and the arms. We can use it on the legs, but not on the front of the legs because of the shin. Where our shin's at, we have nothing but a bone with some skin over it. But the tap ointment we use on the face, again, is digital tap ointment. And it's done by dropping your fingers in rapid succession, meaning we don't take our fingers and tap. You let your wrist get really loose. And this is one that takes a lot of practice, but just let your wrist hang loose and let your fingers fall. And you're going to learn to do it with both hands, and one hand's going to work better than the other. But if you start tapping, you can feel a definite difference. Tap ointment's really good to increase blood circulation, and we know by now that the hair, skin, and nails is fed through the blood circulation. So you notice the face has already gotten a little pink, probably from the friction. But when you do the tap ointment, you will really bring some color up to the face. And you've got to watch this face while you're doing these manipulations, because you can tell whether it's relaxing or tightening up if you're massaging too hard. So we start tap ointment. Let our fingers fall. And you notice we do the feather movement every time when we go back. Let our fingers fall. I'm not very fond of this on the face, frankly. I like the friction and Effleurage and even the Petrissage a little better than that. But I love when I get a manicure to have the tap ointment on my arms and legs, since it is invigorating. The last movement we have is vibration. Now, I can't imagine why anybody would do vibration manually, because this is the most difficult one you will do. And we think of vibration as rapid shaking. And we think of it as that we take our person and vibrate them, but actually we are vibrating ourselves and then put our hands on them. You know, so usually we have an electric vibrator back there, and we'll show that tomorrow. But you vibrate and then put your hands on them so they get some of the effects of it, rather than take them and vibrate them around. All right, we're going to do some facial manipulations now. That is our massage manipulations. But we do some different things on the face as opposed to what we would do on the scalp or the arms or the legs. And we can go to our book and watch some of those manipulations and where they are. We have the chin movement, and you saw some of that as we began stroking. And then also the circular movement on the lower cheeks. The book also showed us our motor points that will be involved in facial massage. And motor points simply mean at a point where we can stop. That's nerves. And it's a place that we can stop that will really relax them or invigorate them, whichever way we want them to go. It also shows us about going around the mouth. If you notice, I missed the eyes a while ago. We're not going to get in this eye area here, but we can go in under the eye and rub up side of the nose so that they don't feel like we're leaving out any particular place. In the up and out row, we can also do the forehead movement that will involve more of the forehead by working between our fingers like we did with shampooing. We can also do some kneading up here. We came up a while ago with our kneading or Petrissage. But we can come right through here and do some kneading movements. We can come around the mouth and do digital stroking again. We may also do the shoulders. Now, Deborah doesn't have any shoulders for me to do. But we can come up the neck area with our stroking, with our friction, with our tap ointment. We want to be careful what's along our neck. What's right along our neck? Blood vessels. What blood vessels? Carotid, jugular. So we want to be real, real careful. We want to stimulate the blood circulation, but we don't want to cause the big one. You know, so you want to be real careful. If we're going to do their shoulders, we're going to come around in a circular movement to the front. Okay? All right, we also have some electrotherapy and light treatment, and we're going to get real involved in that tomorrow. We have the galvanic in our facial room, so I'm going to leave that to tomorrow, but I want to show you how to remove cleanser once you get it on here, and this is for state board purposes. When you've got a live client back there, we're going to take a towel, and I will show you this tomorrow. We're going to take a towel and fold it up and have it in hot water, and we'll clean off with it. But when you get to state board, a lot of things are pretend. And we're going to take a couple of pieces of cotton, and the cleanser is always removed, or the massage cream is always removed from the forehead first. And I like to use a little water because it makes it move. And you notice I hadn't got a lot of water on my cotton. We use up and outward movements again, and up and outward movements. And then before I start doing the rest of the face, I put this here as an insurance policy for me, because these mannequins, as you can see, will come off of the stands. So that you've got her held where she can't come off. And again, you want to move up, use up and outward movements, except where? Around the eyes, what do? We're going to go in and around using lighter pressure. This is a very tender area through here, even though it's not the eye. But you'll find that the skin is the thinnest. If you'll remember, it's the thinnest on the eyelids, thickest on the palms and soles. All right, do we have questions?